Set the
Okay,
volume.
we are live.
You're live.
Yeah, we're both live.
Just turn up the gain of my mic, gangster. Fuck.
Gaines, Mike Gaines.
Mic gains. Oh, welcome to PB Machine episode 6. We've been just trying to record this thing for the last fucking 30 minutes because Skype has been a cunt and Google's been a cunt. Cheeky cunts, I swear.
Mate, I'm gonna wreck Skype. I swear on my mum.
I swear on my mum. I'm no ordinary podcaster. I'm a trained fighter.
Do you wear a tap out t-shirt?
I'm wearing a tap out hoodie right now. I've got the hood up.
Oh, well, I wouldn't mess with you then. You sound like you mean serious business.
I do mean serious business. So serious.
So, where were we about 15 minutes ago when we were trying to record this on Skype? I think we talked about cooking turkeys and the proper technique for
Actually,
in the
you were
oven.
going straight in. You were ramming it in without warming up the oven.
Yeah,
I was suggesting that it might be a good idea to warm the oven up before you ram in the turkey.
yeah.
You want to at least spit on the turkey.
Yeah, so learned quite a few things today. But the main topic was sleep, an article in the Express. So
Yeah, the Daily Express. And I kind of went off on my own tangent, and then you didn't answer because obviously you dropped out. And I read out the title, which is "Too much sleep could kill you. More than 8 hours a night can double risk of stroke. Sleeping more than 8 hours a night could dramatically increase the risk of suffering a stroke," scientists warned yesterday by David Pildich. I shouted because there was all caps. Much kill you sleeping, all caps.
yeah, really highlights the relevant points there.
Yeah.
Good bit of journalistic integrity there.
So I was thinking, I had mentioned that I don't know if I will. Should I read it? Should I not read it? It is quite long.
Yeah,
But
I
if we
mean,
read it, then we can discuss it.
yeah, it might be an idea to read it.
Let's just read it. Researchers from the University of Cambridge found that having a lion on a regular basis may be fatal. I mean, come on. Well, where do you start from there?
It's not even remotely what the study was really saying either.
Well, you're just gonna die when you have hit the snooze button, dead.
I know a guy who did die, he just didn't wake up.
Good night, sweet prince.
Yeah.
The academics discovered those who regularly sleep more than 8 hours a night were twice as likely to suffer a stroke compared with the average sleepers. And people who went from sleeping less than 6 hours a night to more than 8 hours were 4 times as likely to suffer from life-threatening condition where the blood supply is cut off to the part of the brain. The life-threatening condition where the that's just called death, isn't it?
Yeah, usually there's, I mean, there only, well, obviously you could suffer brain damage and not die, but there's no really,
Well, you could chop your head off. That would cut off the supply to your
Yeah,
brain.
decapitation is usually fatal, yeah.
You could
It's difficult
impale your heart. That would stop blood flow to the brain. You could shoot yourself in the heart. That would stop blood flow to the brain. You could cut your throat. That would stop blood supply to the brain. You could hang yourself. That would stop blood supply to the brain. But they're not. I didn't know these were all the same condition.
Yeah, I think they are.
Decapitation is quite life-threatening. Life-threatening, am I right in saying?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is the third
We're on the
sentence.
third sentence. It's going to take a long time. The scientists behind the new research say the results of their major study of 10,000 people, 10,000, could save the health services millions of pounds, none of which is expounded upon later. Doctors have regularly extolled the virtues of a good night's sleep to recharge the batteries. Fucking bastards.
Yeah, they're trying to kill us.
Trying to kill us all, man. They're trying to decapitate us. And previous studies found too little sleep may contribute to coronary heart disease and stroke by increasing blood pressure. But the new findings revealed that people who slept more than 8 hours were at a staggering 46% greater risk of stroke than those who slept an average 8 to 6 hours. In comparison, people who slept less than 6 hours a day were at 18% increased risk. The study found the risk of strokes doubled in elderly women. The scientists said the reasons for the link were unclear and more research needs to be carried out to establish why too much sleep could be a killer. Yu Ling from the university said sleeping more was unlikely in itself to directly increase the likelihood of a person having a stroke in their lifetime.
No, hang on a minute, Mark. That
hold the phone.
The headline that I don't understand. I thought too much sleep could kill me, and now it's what? It's a bit difficult for me to grasp here because I'm being told by someone from a university who's done some research that there's not necessarily a direct link, and that sleeping more is unlikely to actually be a direct cause of me having a stroke. And then they've got journalists telling me with all caps. That's the other thing. He used capital letters.
He did use capital letters.
So,
it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah. I just don't know who to believe.
But I think what you're failing to understand here is Yu Ling has well-known links to the Illuminati.
Okay.
She's just spinning her propaganda.
Yeah, she's probably a doctor.
She's definitely a doctor.
Yeah.
We all know they're evil.
Yeah, just trying to give you drugs and antibiotics and,
vaccinations as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's cynical, isn't it? It's just
trying to eradicate smallpox. Genocide.
Yeah, well, no one asked me if I wanted to have smallpox eradicated.
Well, smallpox is feelings too.
Yeah. I think there's a bunch of crippling childhood diseases that I didn't. No one asked me if it was all right to get rid of them. I just feel like this is typical that we're living in a society where less and less people have a say over what sort of infectious diseases are allowed to propagate.
Who's to say meningitis, mumps, rubella aren't cuddly? Who's to say
exactly.
That?
And I think every debilitating disease is beautiful. I just don't think we should pick and choose.
No. It's racism is what it is.
Yeah.
Diseaseism. Almost as bad as ageism.
Yeah.
What's far less clear, however, is the direction of this link, whether longer sleep is a symptom, an early marker, or a cause of cardiovascular problems. More research is definitely needed. This is the first one in the UK to find an association, and we found sleeping duration is an indicator. It could have a positive impact on public health, as research like this could end up saving the NHS money in the long term. Notice money in the long term also means millions. Just want to point that out. The research is the first to provide detailed information about the British public and to examine the relationship between a change in sleep duration and risk of stroke. Scroll down. Ben.
Yeah, so scientists from the university's Department of Public Health followed almost 10,000 people aged 42 to 81 over nearly 10 years. They started collecting data by asking participants how long they slept on an average day and checked their patterns 4 years later and then 6 years after that. Yeah, it sounds really like you can make a lot of accurate conclusions from that. But most reported sleeping between 6 and 8 hours a day, whilst 1 in 10 slept for more than 8 hours a day. Over the course of the study, 346 participants suffered a stroke, including some fatalities. So that's actually a very low percentage of people out of the 10,000.
Given the age bracket, 42 to 81.
Exactly. After taking into account other factors, including age and sex, the team concluded that people who slept longer than 8 hours a day were at 46% greater risk of stroke than average. The risk doubled for those who reported persistently long sleep over the entire course of the study. Lack of sleep has been linked with factors such as disrupted metabolism and raised levels of the stress hormone, which for some reason is in quotation marks, cortisol, all of which may lead to high blood pressure and increased stroke risk.
They need to speak to Charles Poliquin about cortisol.
Yeah, exactly. Meat and nut breakfast, take some phosphatidylserine, glutamine, take 50 grams of BCAAs and you'll be fine. About a kilo of fish oil a day. What else? I don't know. But the findings suggest that the link was independent of normal risk factors for cardiovascular disease. Professor Katie Kaur, having a mark moment here, I can't pronounce the words. Senior author on the study said we need to understand the reasons behind the link between sleep and stroke risk. What is happening in the body that causes this link? With further research, we may find that excessive sleep proves to be an early indicator of increased stroke risk, particularly among older people.
I'll tell you what's happening, KT. They get decapitated, that's what's happening. Chop the fucking heads off, that's what's happening.
So every year in the UK there are around 152,000 strokes. There's one every 3.5 minutes. So the way I look at it, if you're sleeping for more than 8 hours, you're actually avoiding a lot of the strokes that you could have had by being awake. So I don't buy this. It's the third largest killer after heart disease and cancer, and most people affected are over 65, although they can happen at any age. So if you're 5 years old, just started school, you're still at risk.
That's 416 strokes for every breakfast I have. Not having breakfast.
Yeah. So while older people have less work and fewer social demands, and therefore often have the option of sleeping longer, previous research has shown that they tend to sleep on average for shorter periods, which is what most people sort of commonly understand anyway. And experts say major risk factors of suffering a stroke include smoking, being overweight, lack of exercise, and a poor diet, which are all things that can affect sleep, of course. Dr. Medina Cara, research manager at the Stroke Association, said, in the past, oversleeping has been linked to a host of health problems, including diabetes and obesity. The results of this latest research suggest that sleeping for longer could be a sign that you're at increased risk of stroke, particularly among older people. But this is my favourite part of the whole article, which comes right at the bottom. However, sleeping for longer is not a known risk factor for stroke, and the data presented in this research does not provide sufficient evidence to prove that this is a concern. So, once again, another popular bit of research contradicted by a quote in the article.
I tell you what is mathematically accurate. Every time I take a poop, 138 people have a stroke in the UK.
Yeah, so I think you should stop.
I should stop pooping and having breakfast.
Yeah, it's the only moral thing to do, really.
Okay.
So the researchers have highlighted that the reasons behind the suggested link between sleeping for longer periods and stroke is still not known. Long sleep could be a symptom or a cause of cardiovascular problems. The known stroke risk factors include high blood pressure, smoking, lack of exercise. Eating healthily, getting active, and quitting smoking can make a big difference in reducing the risk of stroke, and anyone concerned about their health should have a chat with their GP. So the GP, of course, is going to recommend that you sleep longer, and that's going to kill you. So don't listen to your GP.
The study was supported by the Illuminati and Bloomberg Group, and has been published in the Journal of Neurology.
So what you should really do is go to your GP, say you're having problems with your sleep, you're worried that you might be at risk of a stroke, so can you be prescribed some antibiotics, please?
Hello, Mr. GP. I'm sleeping 8 hours a day. Can I please have some amphetamines?
Yeah, that would work actually. But it's like they're saying, when you sleep less than 6 hours, you're more likely to be at risk of a stroke. Well, no shit, because people who aren't sleeping very long might be stressed out of their mind, and there might be a whole host of factors which, and obviously if you're getting older, and older people tend to sleep less, then you obviously at great risk of stroke anyway. So it just seems like another kind of pointless bit of research. Doesn't really tell you anything meaningful.
Or maybe the research might tell you something in a few decades when it's been pulled together with other research.
Yeah, exactly. It needs a systematic review of a bunch of studies on sleep, I guess, and links with
or
CBD.
Something that takes this epidemiological data and tries to actually squeeze out causation somehow.
Yeah.
Just saying the sleep's going to kill you.
But as journalists, you don't have to. It doesn't matter if you understand the difference between correlation and causation. Though you just say that something might kill you, and then you're good to go. Or it might cause cancer or something.
Well, as long as you can copy and paste quotes into your work, and also use the caps lock.
Yeah.
And you're there.
Yeah. So basically, if you can argue on the internet, then you can write an article for any popular newspaper in the UK, it seems.
The comment section from the Daily Express is just nowhere near as fun.
It's not, is it? There's no racism in here, which is disappointing.
Lingual sponge. Misleading headline. Makes it sound like a causation when, in fact, it's only a correlation. And, in fact, increased need for sleep could just be another symptom of illness.
Well, that seems far too sensible.
I can't lampoon that. Old fellow. Okay, noted. But I don't think I'm going to worry. I snuff it while I'm asleep. How am I going to know? As the saying goes, does a bear shit in the woods?
Right, so a couple of problems there. No
Polar
one
bears
said...
don't shit in the woods.
No, they don't, exactly, because there are no woods. And
They shit in the snow.
Yeah. So the main problem, I think what he's failed to understand here is that no one's actually saying, it doesn't actually say anywhere in the article that if you were to suffer a stroke, it would happen while you were asleep because you slept in too long. I think he's just fundamentally misunderstood the article there. I think he's struggling to grasp the basic concept.
I think he just wanted to write stuff.
Yeah.
I sleep when I'm tired, and I wake up, and I wake up when I wake up. Simple as the wonder.
Right, great. Because again, that's
He's
really
unemployed.
Yeah. Yeah. I get up for watch a couple of episodes of Jeremy Kyle, have a few cans of Foster's. Roll out of bed, go down to the job centre.
Ideal steal. Another day, another story to scare in commas. I don't know why it needs to be in commas. That will be refuted in a week or so's time. No, it's not really going to be refuted in a week or so time. It's refuted right now if you read the fucking article. Not being medically minded, and occasionally, as we probably all are if we admit to ourselves, I am a bit of a Victor Meldrew. Yeah, One Foot in the Grave. Terrible film. It's not a film, it's a fucking series.
They did make a film, though. They did make a film.
Did they?
I think they made a feature, yeah.
Yeah, it was probably terrible. About illness. Imagine what he would have been like had the internet been around when he was, and again, he's in quotation marks. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But my issues on sleep are this: if my body, yes, my body needs it, then it will get it. Open bracket sleep, close bracket, comma.
Because we'd all lost you. It's too complicated to follow this line of reasoning.
I don't understand all this gratuitous use of grammar whilst he's got a caps lock in the middle of her sentence.
Yeah.
Thus, if I am poorly, I can sleep for days, comma. If for whatever reason I can't sleep, then I won't. But as long as I can sleep enough to survive the day, then isn't that that matters? All the matters?
All the matters. All your matters belong to us.
All these articles are enough to make us all neurotics, though some it will, comma. No wonder GPs dread it when something major comes into the media, comma. For example, open quotation, measles, close quotation. The waiting rooms will be full of, those wonderful people, the open quotation, Victor Meldrew, close quotation, brigade, bracket, the open quotation, worried, well, close quotation, close comma, or close bracket, no full stop.
What a fucking idiot. Honestly, man, that's almost like Daily Mail quality right there.
She clicked on the wrong URL, is what she did.
Yeah, like you seriously get a grip. I mean, you've not understood. You just go.
Please go. Chris Kringle, really? Question mark. So how long should you sleep then? Question mark. Between 6 and 8 hours. You read the article, son. Fall 2. Insufficient data leads to wrong conclusion. Full stop. No space. Ignore the headlines, comma plus space. Do you even type? The point of this report is more research is required, full stop, and a space. Trust me, I'm not a doctor.
Okay. Great, thanks.
Thanks for coming along, Daily Express.
Yeah, you've been great.
You've made my life so much better. What we could do right now is we could intersection into like a practical like segment on how to get better sleep.
No, I mean, because let's face it, Mark, anyone that would have been interested in that, Now, let's be real here, Mark. Nobody listening well, in fact, nobody is probably listening past this point anyway. Nobody who came here listening for like helpful, actionable advice will have held on long enough to.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm in the episode. Ho! Thank you for listening to PB Machine Episode 6. Sleeping is going to kill you. I've been Mark.
And I've been Ben.
And we're not going to do any practical things because
fuck you, that's fine.
You want to learn how to go to sleep? Go to your bed, put your head on the pillow, close your eyes, and then sever your head.
And wake up between 6 to 8 hours later, or you're going to die.
You're going to die. Please don't die. Okay, that'll do that episode. Right, what do we want to do for the next one?
We could just talk about practical stuff for sleep. That makes sense, I think. Seeing as we're like on that topic and,